Okay, Trevor, it's time to get started. We've had a bit of a conversation, and I think we're both pretty clear on the next steps. So let's go ahead and get that going. We're gonna get things opened up and start our process. Right. Okay, let's look at that dial in hand. Your hands have had a little bit of moisture damage, but nothing too serious. So here's the wear on your bridge from the wear in your arbor ports, which we're going to take care of. Wow, they cleaned this? You did not get a service. This watch was never cleaned properly. That's a shame. Oh my gosh. So I would show them this video and tell them to give you your money back. This watch was not properly serviced at all. Covered in dirt and grime. That is not the evidence of a service. And there are bits of metal. Wow. That's terrible. So there are evidence of rust in your center wheel. I'm not sure if you can see that, but I may have to replace this part. Somebody did some engraving. This part of the watch has never been touched. Since, I guess, the 90s. So I would complain. Okay, well, that is your teardown. We're gonna do some cleaning, hand cleaning, followed by some jeweling. We're gonna jewel this port right here and its corresponding port in the bridge. I'm going to look very closely at all of your pivots under some high magnification, as I'm a little unsure about this center wheel, this center bushing right here. I see some pitting, and that makes me a little nervous. That may need to be jeweled. So we'll be back with some clean parts and hopefully some repairs and other things that need to get done. All right, we'll be back. Trevor, I wanted to give you a bit of additional video evidence of the lack of work that was done on your watch. So I think you said that perhaps they claim to have changed the mainspring. They did not. This is the original mainspring for this watch. Seiko hasn't made a mainspring like this in a very long time. It still has the original Seiko lubrication in it, so they have clearly lied to you about this process, and this is another piece of that evidence. So I would not be very happy at this point. All right, we'll be back. Okay, Trevor. Well, we are ready to get going on reassembly. We've got all your parts and pieces out of the cleaner. It's looking pretty good. A couple little things, but we'll get to that at the end. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, we're back running. Let's put it on the time grapher and check the performance and get it adjusted, and we'll be right back. Okay, well, that's a nice way to get started. Let's go ahead and make some adjustments. Well, 240s, 230s. I will take that. A little bit more adjusting to do, but this is again in the break-in period, so there's a little bit of variation that's going to just be from lubrication finding its way around, but these numbers are just about as good as you can get. Yeah, I'm very happy with this. Okay, well that is the movement constructed. I forgot to show you earlier, but I'll point it out now. There is your, what is your lower mainspring arbor port jewel that we installed to ensure that any of that floppiness or rocking of your barrel was eliminated. So that is like a jeweled bearing that's here. So that's installed, which is great. I didn't point that out earlier. But let's just go through everything quickly. Make sure that there's nothing doing the wrong thing. That's right. Okay. There we go. All right, so ready for dial and hands, and we'll be back. Okay, Trevor, this is the last few pieces here. We're in the case and nearly finished. One thing before we seal up, I just want to be sure that you understand that I left, so this is a magic marker, and if I cleaned the case the way, or the case back the way I normally do in my sonicator, this would have come off. But I wanted to leave this on here so you have some proof that the last service center in your area actually worked on the watch, because that's their mark. So if you want to take it back to them and say, hey, you didn't actually service this watch, which they didn't, you can. So that's there. Okay, there it is. There is your dad's 1976 6105 8119. It's amazing how really great this thing has turned out. It is a really, really good looking watch. I am so happy with the outcome. Everything you see is the way the watch came in, of course, except for the crystal. We have adjusted that, but we've also done quite a bit, you know, under the radar, if you will, to bring this watch back into a state that's as good as you may remember from a very long time ago. I cleaned the case. I didn't do any polishing. I just did a nice cleaning of it in a sonication bath with some soapy water. I replaced your pip, so this now has an actual pip glass that's here. So this is now a solid. So generally there's a piece of glass or a small piece that goes in here that then has luminous material behind it, and I did put lume behind it, but it's non-glowing lume. It's the same texture and the same material, but it doesn't glow, so it'll be consistent. You won't have this green dot sitting here in the dark, which I think, you know, really sets the watch off very nicely. Your bezel clicks just as it should. It's a little stiff, but just the right level of a little stiff. I don't know what the right term is for that, but it is very, very good. I rebuilt your crown, so that's been mechanically disassembled. All of the internal parts have been removed, and I'll show you that O-ring that goes in there. And so now that goes back in and it hacks the way it should. I did as much as I could to clean your hands without changing the character of them. They have seen some moisture, and there was moisture in the actual movement of the watch as well, which meant some rust. I had to replace one component. but I did as much to preserve as I could, but not to change. Your dial itself is very good. You have one little bright spot here. These are kind of a matte dial, but you can see right there, there's a little line. I'm not sure what that came from in the past, but I didn't want to, go too deep or do anything that would really alter the watch. Cleaned your case back a little bit, just brought the shine back. So let's go over the components that are coming home to you. Got a few pieces here. Of course, your dad's original crystal. It's quite a difference. That's really great. But that will come home. Here are the gaskets that the last service provider put on. I replaced them just as a matter of course. I don't really know what their origins are, if they have cracks in them, anything like that. I don't want to just put back things that I haven't approved in terms of their quality. This is your bushing that was in your arbor port, or it is actually the arbor port for your upper component, or the on the bridge, and this was replaced with the jewel, and it has a corresponding lower arbor port jewel that I showed you earlier in the construction. So that's coming home. This is your center wheel, and this is right in the middle. So it's what your it's sort of the part that connects the train, or the part that's moving inside of the watch, and mechanical part, to the hands, and does that through what's called the cannon pinion. And this can actually get rusty if you're not careful. So let's see if we can focus in on that a little bit. But it has some rust in that gear inside of there, and it's just not worth it. I have them to replace, and it needed to be replaced. So that's going to come home. And here is the all-important gasket that's part of your crown assembly, and I'm going to show you why we replaced these. For one, it's as stiff as a board. There is no give in that. Moreover, as it crystallizes and becomes solid, like a piece of plastic, it shrinks. And so I'll show you what a new one looks like by comparison. Let's see if I can find one quickly. Yes, I have one here. The inner part of that O-ring is supposed to fit around your stem. And you can see the difference in the size of these holes is dramatic. So that's not doing anything to keep moisture at bay inside the movement. And so this new squishy donut is what is residing in your crown now, and keeping at least the atmosphere out. Of course, there's no guarantee and no warranty that I can provide that gives you waterproof or water resistance anymore. I would keep this as far away from all water as possible, and my warranty can't cover it. So, it's something that you really have to keep in mind. However, what I've done to the watch provides at least the minimum of water tightness in the watch. So it's more precautionary than it is for practical use at this point. Okay, so let's just show. We got hacking again. We can take the hands around, watch the date click over, and there we go. Okay, so that's that. And then if we go one click, we can, oops, that's two. Go one click out, we can change with the quick setting. Friday the 13th. Okay, well, Trevor, I hope this satisfies your desire to wear this watch and be confident that it's running the way it needs to.
it's a great watch. Whoever worked on this before just, you know, didn't really help you in any way, and I'm sorry about that. I wish that everybody did what they were saying they were going to do and got you the watch back in a way that was fair and equitable, but of course that's not always the world that we live in. So enjoy, and thank you again, and thanks for watching.